The music throbbed inside the packed nightclub, neon lights dancing across the walls. Men and women moved in hypnotic waves on the dance floor. Amid the swirl of bodies stood an impossibly beautiful woman, long, dark hair framing a faultless face. Her name, or so she claimed, was Seraphina. No one had ever seen her before, but she acted like she owned the room. She swayed to the beat with effortless grace, a subtle smile on her lips. Whispers floated through the crowd. Who is she? And where did she come from? Some men brushed off the hush of unease that settled wherever she went. Others couldn't stop staring. Away from the spotlight, Seraphina's secrets ran deeper than anyone suspected. By day, she was elusive, barely leaving a digital footprint. Yet her social media presence suggested a jet-setting lifestyle, exotic travel photos, designer gowns, hints of a luxurious villa. Men from different cities boasted about receiving her flirty messages. Yet each account was curiously short-lived, disappearing after a few weeks. At the nightclub, she locked eyes with a shy man named Jacob. He felt a magnetic pull the moment their gazes met. Seraphina's laugh was low and thrilling, her voice a gentle purr. Every word from her lips felt like a private invitation. Somehow, she convinced him to join her at a corner table. Those who watched noticed something odd. In the mirrored walls, Seraphina's reflection sometimes seemed blurred, as if the glass couldn't capture her fully. The next morning, Jacob walked around his modest apartment, replaying the night in his mind. He remembered her saying, "Come to my villa sometime," but everything else was fuzzy. He hadn't planned to go anywhere with her. It was late. He was tired, but he'd scribbled her address on a napkin anyway. He tried to focus on the mundane tasks of the day, mails, errands, phone calls, but the memory of Seraphina's mesmerizing gaze kept intruding. Her texts arrived at random intervals. "Thinking of you, miss me." He laughed at himself. She was just a beautiful woman, after all, right? That evening, Jacob found himself pulling up to a secluded villa perched on a hill at the end of a winding drive. An ornate iron gate, engraved with strange symbols, swung open as if expecting him. The mansion looked like an old-world estate fused with modern decadence, towering columns, polished marble floors, and a faint glow emanating from tall windows. Seraphina appeared at the entrance, her dress shimmering under the moonlight. She led him inside, each corridor more lavish than the last. Priceless paintings, sculptures, and vases, all radiating a quiet, almost otherworldly grandeur. The hush that clung to the air was unsettling, but her conversation was light, playful even, and it put him at ease for a while. Music drifted from hidden speakers, a languid, hypnotic melody. Jacob couldn't help but notice how time felt strange here. An hour seemed both too long and too short. He stepped onto a balcony overlooking an expansive courtyard. No other lights were on in the distance. It was as if this villa existed in its own world. Seraphina joined him, placing a hand on his shoulder. Her touch sent a chill through his body, yet he felt flushed at the same time. She spoke in a hushed tone about art, history, and nightlife. She hinted at deeper experiences, her voice trailing off seductively. But every so often, the corners of her mouth seemed to twitch in a way that made him uneasy. Could a simple flick of the light be playing tricks on his eyes? She led him to a grand bedroom draped with silken curtains and flickering candles. The bed, covered in plush pillows, looked more like a throne than a place to sleep. Jacob swallowed hard, feeling simultaneously drawn in and terrified. They kissed, and Jacob felt a rush of warmth, followed by a disturbing prick of cold at the base of his spine. Something primal in him screamed that he should leave, yet her laughter, gentle as a lullaby, dulled his caution. He glimpsed her reflection in a nearby mirror and saw something he couldn't quite comprehend. Her silhouette seemed to shift. A trick of candlelight, he told himself, but a pounding dread built inside him. In the throes of passion, Jacob felt an overwhelming sensation, part bliss, part terror. Her face warped. For a fraction of a second, it was not the serene beauty he'd admired, but something alien, segmented and inhuman, like the shape of a spider's mandibles. Before he could scream, he felt a sickening pull in his chest, as though his very essence was being ripped out. With that final rush, Jacob's vision dimmed. The next thing he knew, he was floating trapped inside a small, transparent sphere, watching his own motionless body slump on the bed. Through the glassy prison, he saw Seraphina's countenance return to its flawless perfection. She cradled the orb in her hands, eyes dancing with eerie satisfaction. She carried the orb, holding Jacob's soul, through a secret passageway. Voiceless and powerless, Jacob could only watch as they entered a vast chamber, illuminated by thousands of candles. Countless orbs, each a faintly glowing prison for a soul, lined the shelves. Placing Jacob's orb in an empty slot, a new candle flared to life, marking his eternal captivity. A short distance away, Seraphina plucked a different sphere from its pedestal. With inhuman jaws, she inhaled its glow, and, in that instant, one candle flickered and died. Jacob's mind reeled, realizing that each candle represented a soul, and she was free to consume them at her whim. As Seraphina shifted back into her flawless human form, Jacob's sphere glimmered on the shelf, powerless to escape. Thousands of other orbs shimmered in quiet despair, their flickers reflecting abject hopelessness. In the flickering candlelight, Seraphina checked her phone yet. Another eager admirer asking for a rendezvous. A predatory smile crossed her perfect lips. The cycle would continue. She would prowl the nightclubs, slip into DMs on social media, extend an irresistible invitation, and then lead her victims to the villa's candlelit chamber of soul.